back to Class Farms, guys. Kai over here with Matt.
What's up, everybody?
And in this video, we're going to do a Zastava manufacturer review, one of our favorite companies out there. And we've got Matt from Zastava.
Well, I don't actually work for Zastava, but I am a huge fan of theirs, and I do own some of their products, so I am super happy to be here today.
He is the AK guy of Classic Firearms, and I'm literally the opposite, the AR guy. But, you know, in this video, you're going to go ahead and school us. And by the way, if Zastava is watching, shout out to Ranko over there.
Ranko is awesome.
He's awesome, yeah.
Just got to talk to him at SHOT Show.
Yep.
So, you know, definitely just want to, talk about some of my favorite product line here with Zastava AKs. Again, I have been on record multiple times saying that I think that if you're looking for a production line AK, custom built AK, Zastava is probably like my best recommendation.
Absolutely. M70 is freaking awesome. It's one of my favorites. Even though I'm not really the AK guy, not because I don't like AKs, it's just I don't know much about them.
It's got bad taste.
I would love an M70, but in this, right now, we're going to talk about the rifles first. So let's get to it, and then we've got obviously some pistols to look at too. You want to talk about that?
All right.
Which one do you want to talk about first?
Yeah, so if we look at these three rifles, these are all M70s, and specifically these are ZPAP M70s, which is the most recent incarnation of the M70 line. Okay. So like the one I have at home is a NPAP, which is a older kind of production. Okay. And so one of the cool things about Zastava is that they have kind of tried to listen to the market and really give people what it is that they're looking for the AK-47 platform. So one of the things that you'll notice on all of these
what do they do differently?
Is that Zastava is really well known because first off, they use the 1.5 millimeter thick receivers. Okay. So the standard AK thickness on the receiver is 1 millimeter sheet steel, and that's bent into the box shape of the receiver. Zastava uses 1.5 millimeter, which is something you would normally see on more like squad automatic weapons, like the RPK style guns. They use them standard on all of their stamped receiver AKs. And then they also use a bulged trunnion. So you can see how right here where the barrel populates into the receiver, there's a bulged out part. And so they're using a thicker bulged trunnion, puts more material, more contact between the receiver and that front trunnion to make a robust, stronger connection, right? Because right here is where the business happens, right? This is where the chamber is, the explosions happen of you firing rounds. This is where we
all
need
that pressure
strength.
Is there, yeah.
And so by making sure that there's a lot more contact surface, they're able to really make sure that that is a tough as nails kind of connection.
Yeah, Ranko, I was with Ryan in Germany. We interviewed the whole Zastava thing. So Ranko told us this really cool story and like grenade launcher that's attached to the bottom of the AK right here. So when you shoot it, in order to keep this dust cover part together, they actually reinforce the dust cover part. And over time, they would actually have, if they kept shooting the grenade launcher through the gun, they would actually have issues. So that's why they bulge this trunnion area, which is pretty cool. The other AKs don't have it.
Yeah. So usually you only see it again on kind of RPK style firearms, something that's designed for like sustained rates of high automatic fire kind of thing. Also, one of the things that is kind of a change within the past 10 years or so is that Zastavas used to be well known to be one of the AKs that were not chrome lined in the barrel and chamber. So for instance, my old school NPAP is not chrome lined, but they have gone to all of their rifles having chrome lined barrels and chambers. Again, that helps with longevity of service because it's a very hard material. So if you're possibly using corrosive primary ammunition, like old surplus military Eastern Bloc stuff, it makes it much easier to clean and protects the rifle. And again, that hard surface also just kind of gives the barrel longevity against wear. So, it's got a lot of features that I think end users really appreciate when you're looking for a rifle that's going to be resilient, tough, and the things that you're looking for in the AK platform.
And they actually issue their stuff to the government too.
That's right. They are the state manufacturer for their own military as well as exporting to other militaries around the world. And then they also do civilian sales. So that's what we see. So of course, good point. All of these rifles are semi-automatic versions of the rifles. I mean, effectively, they are built on the same kind of product lines as select fire military style rifles. But yeah, we've got a couple different options. So you got like fixed stock.
That's right. That's 760 by 39, right?
Yep, 760 by 39. We have a underfolder stock, 760 by 39.
You can have a little compact version of this one. You can just deploy this, obviously press this button, and this kind of gets deployed.
That's right.
Just like that, and
this has got a really cool. There you go.
There we go.
And this has got a really cool, almost like a battle pickup kind of front handguard where you've got a lot of the wear into it. Really kind of gives it a visual interest, right?
Yeah, it really does look pretty cool. It looks like all beat up. Good mag pull grip. I mean, looks really cool, and
So-
you can make it compact.
So, kind of as an aside, we talked to Renko at SHOT Show, and one of the things they were talking about was that they were introducing the availability of some parts kits, and these parts kits are coming off of demilitarized military service rifles, and so their furniture will have the character of, you're going to see things like scratches
Battle
or
scars.
art, or yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's a way that you could really give a rifle that you already have, a rifle that you're going to build,
Yeah.
a lot of really cool distinctive character, right?
That's pretty cool.
Of
Love
course,
it. Yeah.
anytime we were going to do a video featuring Zastava, we wanted to pull out the gold AK. So obviously that is a super aesthetic.
Look at this thing, dude. We need to obviously clean it up, but this thing is incredible. It costs a lot of money too, but it's just to keep it safe.
I mean,
right?
it's the flex, though, right?
Yeah,
it's the flex.
This is awesome. I love it.
But they do not do just 7.62 by 39 rifle. So one of the things we have here is the
Love this thing. 5.56.
5.56.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking for the 5.56, like this is the M70, this would be like the M90. Otherwise, very similar to the 7.62 by 39 rifles. Interesting enough, they do go with a longer barrel for the 5.56. So the standard on the 7.62 is 16 inches. It's a 18-inch barrel in 5.56.
Interesting.
You can see distinctly
Yeah.
the straighter kind of curve to the magazine. But other than that, I mean, obviously still built with the same kind of regard for quality. This also shows a very cool feature you can see on a lot of Zastava rifles, which is an adjustable gas block here. So you see this little silver
Yeah.
thing. So you can actually take the gas tube off, adjust this barrel, and you have adjustable gas system. So you can go all the way from basically shut off to like inclement conditions, and then there's a middle condition for like standard operation.
Very, very cool. And yeah, so that's 5.56. That's freaking awesome. I'm curious to see why they went with 18-inch. But let's talk about the suppressor over here. So this M70 has a suppressor from also Zastava?
Yeah, brand new this year from Zastava is the Volk suppressor. And so this is a dedicated 7.62 by 39, 3D printed, obviously,
Yeah.
suppressor. It is, again, brand new this year from Zastava. And, I have not been able to take the rifle out and shoot it, so maybe...
We're about to do that. So
Hey.
I can't wait to try it out and see how quiet that thing is and how the gun feels overall. But looks pretty good, and it's a direct thread. I mean, it's got a hub, obviously, but we directly mounted it on the gun. So these are the rifles, right? 7.62 by 39, different configurations.
And some things that
5.56.
we couldn't put out on here on the table. Like obviously, I believe at one point over kind of CF contest style, we offered a Black Arrow, which is their like 50 BMG bolt action rifle.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
Of course, we have different options like the M77 for 308. We have the M76, which is 8mm Mauser.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of other options out there. Now, I did want to highlight, again, as far as like the accessorizability of AK rifles, that's always kind of people's question. So you see there is this really cool optics mount here on the M90. Now, keep in mind one thing is that when you're accessorizing things for a Zastava rifle versus say other types of stamped receiver, AKM rifles, is that Zastava is a slightly different pattern in a lot of ways from other AKMs. So while you might be able to take a stock off of a Romanian rifle and put it onto a Polish rifle, for instance, Zastava, the stock's attached differently. They actually have a bolt, almost like a shotgun that goes to the back, as opposed to like a tang that sticks in the receiver. The handguards are slightly different. This optics mount is actually going to be a little bit different. So just keep in mind, while there are, obviously there are plenty of different furniture options for Zastava rifles.
So get Zastava specific.
You need something
accessories.
that fits Zastava specific.
Okay.
One of the things I think is the coolest is they have a underfolder rifle that. So a lot of Zastava magazines do have a bolt hold open on empty, but it's on the magazine, not the rifle. So when you take the magazine out, the bolt will close again. But they have the underfolder kit for the fixed stock rifles. So it's
how does that work?
So basically, it's a underfolder kit that has a hinge mechanism that's attached to it, and then you mount it with a very short bolt, just like you would mount this fixed stock rifle. But it allows you to take a fixed stock rifle, turn it into an underfolder without any permanent gunsmithing. So I think that's a really cool option.
That
as
is
well.
pretty cool. Yeah, that is actually awesome and it's significant too. You can make this gun extremely compact for you to be able to transport and store and whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So lots and lots of really cool rifles from Zastava. They don't just do rifles though.
Let's do pistols, man.
Let's do pistols.
And pistols, Matt. What do we got here?
So yeah, we have options for 7.62 by 39 and 5.56. The 7.62 by 39 pistol is the M92 and
ZPAP, right?
yeah, well, yeah. So again, these are ZPAP, which is kind of like the production line, right? So that over time, when they improve things, it went from the NPAP, the OPAP, ZPAP. So the current production. This one obviously is also equipped with a folding brace. One thing that's really cool about the pistols specifically is that they use a hinged dust cover.
That is cool.
One reason that's important is because obviously on a normal AK, you have your front sight here, you'd have your rear sight right here on the front trunnion. That is such a short sight radius that they wanted to push that rear sight back in order to make sure that there was no change in zero when you're taking the dust cover off or on to clean it and stuff. They've put basically a permanent hinge here so that, you know, as you open that and close it, you're going back to the exact same kind of zero, and it's never permanently getting moved.
Cool.
And you also have this nice Picatinny rail that's going to be attached to that. Same thing, right? Because this dust cover is hinged and you don't have to worry about shifting zeros like you do with the dust covers that just pop all the way off. You can mount an optic right here to this dust cover. And, you know, so that brings up a point.
I was just going to say, so the rifles, like the M70, we have it on the side.
Yeah, so the rifles, they use an optics mount here on the side. And so you just have this really cool quick detach optics mount that goes onto this rail.
You just slide it on there.
And you just slide it on there. You throw the lever again, and boom, it's attached. Okay. And so once you've got this, you know, adjusted for tension on the optic rail, you know, you can easily get that on and off. A lot of the times, depending on the exact model of optic you're using, you might still be able to look underneath the optic to get a picture of your iron sights. On this one, it doesn't work.
That's it. Okay.
But you know,
that's pretty cool. I like that. But I honestly really like this too. So just that is it, and it just stays here tight and nice, and you got a little Picatinny right on top.
And then for this one, this is the M85, so that's the 5.56 pistol. Yep. But again, you can still see that even the pistols have a lot of the same really cool features: the 1.5 millimeter thick receiver, the bulged front trunnion, and they really got, you know, again, just a lot of really cool features. The sights on here are very interesting because there are flip-up sights, both front and rear. So you have like your standard front sight.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
And then you have a flip-up night sight there on the front.
I'll show it to the camera right there. So it is. So we've got just regular sight right here, and then a little flip up, just like that. It's pretty cool.
The rear sights do not have the kind of same adjustment where you would have, like, you know, the kind of roller like you would on the rifle.
Yeah.
So, you know, the rifle, the standard rear sight,
full adjustability.
You know, you slide the bar forward to your desired distance, and it will create that elevation for you. However, on the pistols, what they've gone with is a much simpler.
Oh, just flip it down. Yeah.
It's open sights, and you have two options for different distances.
Opening.
So basically, you have 200 and 400.
Yeah. So that's it. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like MP5s. You kind of like, you know, twist them, right?
Well, it reminds me of like an M1 carbine. You know, the rear sight where you just basically have the two.
That's
distances,
right. Yep.
You know, but yeah. So talking about adjusting sights on the AK platform, the front sight is adjustable both for windage and elevation. Normally, this is something that you would kind of set as an armor or at home and not really mess with in the field. But the front sight post is threaded, so you can thread it up or down to change the elevation.
Gotcha.
And then this barrel is driftable left or right for windage. So again, normally this isn't something you would like really mess with in the field the same way you would adjust the rear sight. But it is important to understand that if you're sighting your rifle, you have a lot of different places that you can make adjustments: rear sight, front sight. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, Matt, thanks a lot for all that information. I really like every time I do a video with you when it comes to these AK stuff or some old school stuff. I just learned something new. I want to shoot these things. So you want to go to the range?
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's get to the range, guys. Kind of put them, not necessarily put them through their paces, right? Just shoot them, have some fun.
I don't think you'd shoot it enough.
We'll have Jason over there too. He's an AK guy too, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll shoot and have some fun
and test out that suppressor.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. Here we are at the range. I've got Jason with me.
Hey guys.
Glad you joined me, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Matt's at the warehouse doing his thing. Yeah, but I've got the Zastava M70 here with the Zastava Zook suppressor, which is super cool, and it's got the what technology?
PIP, purposely induced porosity, you know, 3D printed additive material stuff. So
exactly. So it's supposedly very quiet, which we're obviously gonna find out. And honestly, I say let's get to shoot and see how this thing performs. I mean, the M70, I've got some experience with it. I love this freaking gun, but I've never fired it with the suppressor.
It looks pretty cool. I mean, it's got a, you know, centric design, the AK style design. That means bigger barrel on front, longer out the in front of it.
Yeah.
So it's got that, you know, unique design. Of course, 14 by 1 left-hand thread. You know.
Yeah, the hub design.
Hub design.
Yeah.
Oh, it seems to be open hub design, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
They're moving into the future with that. And of course, guys, when we shoot suppress, what you're hearing is the camera trying to grab all of the sound. So it may not sound quiet to you, but please take our word for it. If we had a decibel meter, we'd give you even more accurate sound, but the way the cameras are set up, it's meant to try and amplify even the smallest cricket.
Exactly.
So, there you go.
Yeah, to some people are like, oh, that's
It's
quiet.
so loud. Yeah, it's so loud.
It's the video.
Understand how cameras work.
All right, exactly. So I want to go ahead and shoot this thing a little bit and see how this thing goes. And boom, good to go. It's off safe. Got a target, I don't know, like 80 yards out. And let me go, so. So now I'm gonna go ahead and stop because I don't want that can to be too hot.
We got another one to throw it on, but as you can see, dude, I shed my ears.
Dude,
completely.
Not only it is quiet,
it's stupid quiet.
It actually shoots. Like the gun is extremely soft shooting.
It looks like it.
I mean, it's 7.2 by 39. It doesn't recoil that much, more than 5.56. But I promise you, it's like that Call of Duty when you put a suppressor on, it just like shoots a little softer and nicer. It feels exactly like that.
So a neat thing, we're shooting supers too. So it's not like we're shooting subs, and that thing is hearing safe with supers to the shooter's ear. That to me is where it, you know, really makes it.
Listen, dude, this is actually a lot of fun to shoot. Well, okay, so Ryan was just telling us that, hey, shooting at a steel, you can't really tell the exact quietness. So let me actually shoot this thing just off steel, just off target a little bit.
No ears.
All right, let's see how it is. We're right. All right, so
sounds great to me.
This is, and it's so soft. Yeah, it's so freaking cool. I mean, good warning, Ryan. I mean, I'm used to shooting at steel, right? This, dude, you gotta shoot this thing. There's a few rounds left, and I got another mag for you.
Oh, that's all good.
Oh,
appreciate you.
Safety. There you go.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it is super soft. And the little crack, obviously, you hear is these are supers.
Yep.
You can't avoid that with the...
But it's not unbearable at all. Like I said, this sounds very hearing safe. If I had to guess dBs, I'd say probably 138, 139. Yeah. Just off of, you know, hearing without an actual meter. But again, it being a 3D printed can, it's full length barrel. I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, here's what I want to do, guys. What I want to do is, so we've got this awesome attachment on the side of this thing. And, you know, you can do your... very easy like QD on and off attachment for optics like Picatinny rails. You do this, comes right off. What I want to do is I'm going to go and put this on the ground and shoot iron sights and then put this thing back on, see if it still holds 0. All right, that's it. Put this thing down, the new mag in. So here we go. There we go. And let's see. All right. Let me put this thing on there. It is super easy. There it is. Hold on. Hand it, and that's it, right? It's on there, and boom. That was me missing at the end, obviously. All right, so clearly this thing is pretty cool. So as you guys saw, iron sights on target. Before that I was shooting obviously on target. Removed it, put it back on, good to go. Love this thing. Wow. All right, Jason, what else you got?
Got a ZPAP 92, beautiful red furniture. I mean, it's definitely, you know, gives those classic vibes. I like it.
Do you want to suppress it too?
I'll wait on that.
All right.
Let's do it just a regular way. Oh yeah.
Dude, that fireball, man. Crazy.
I know. Ran it unsuppressed. Gotta love those little fireballs going on, but it's time to suppress it. Let's do it. Loading screen. A little bit of gas leakage, but it's okay. Open system, I understand. But it sounds good.
It actually does sound pretty good.
It sounds very good.
That's a chunky boy.
It is. Very chunky boy. What else you got?
5.56 AK.
Oh.
5.56 AK.
Get into it.
Let me try this one. This little guy's pretty fun, but you know what? I've got something a little bit bigger than this. I'll be right back. All right, it's a little big boy, still 5.56. Let's try this one. Oh yeah, this is good. My ear's coming off. Good to go. Anyways, Jason, that's about it, guys. This is obviously Zastava manufacturer review. It's an awesome company. Again, shout out to obviously Ranko over there. Then when it comes to AK, as much as I'm a huge fan of 5.56 caliber, I'd say, you know what? Nothing beats a good old 7.62x39 AK-47 like the M70.
I don't know about that. Zastava, 300 blackout. I'm just saying. 300 blackout.
Why?
Because it would be awesome.
Okay, well, let us know in the comment section. Would you guys like a 300 blackout AK-47?
Yes.
How about a 12 gauge from one of my cousins over in...
Absolutely not. 300 blackout. 100% suppressed. Great. Sounds wonderful, man.
I would love to see that too, honestly. But at the end, the nostalgia, 7.62x39.
Nostalgia, but 300 blackout be uber quiet.